welcome to 1995batman.com. Today we are looking at Night Hunter Batman with Claw Glider Wing and Night Vision Goggles. So this was one of the Wave ones. This was one that I think everyone remembers if you got any of these figures. It's a very distinctive figure, kind of black and yellow, kind of almost looks like he's got kind of like a yellow costume with kind of like black padding kind of strapped on. He's got these kind of metal bits here and these goggles, which are really interesting. He's got this, which we'll come to later, which is obviously a glider wing. And then he's got a plastic cape, these kind of like, I don't know what they are, kind of latches that kind of latch on, because you can pull those out. One of the annoying things is these kind of bits here do not stick in far enough, so the cape's always just a little bit sort of wobbly and prone to falling off. But anyway, you've got the mechanism here which allows him to put his goggles on. So I'll just show you kind of here. You push this bottom bit up and it clicks the goggles together. We'll turn this around so we can see it from the front because that's the best view. So these things at the side, you press the button at the back and they kind of don't always quite line up quite well. But these goggles kind of like come into view over the top of his eyes. This is really cool. I really kind of like this feature. This is really smart. I never saw it in any other Batman figures. Surprised they didn't try and just replicate it on the animated series or something. But yeah, it's a fun little kind of thing. It doesn't work totally well, but I like the thought process behind it, and I think it's a really smart idea. It looks kind of, to me, it looks kind of like Tim Burton-y. It reminds me of those kind of like goggles that Batman has in the Batwing at the end of the '89 movie, that he kind of brings up to like shoot the Joker. Anyway, so that's your cape, that's your kind of basic figure on its own. But then it also comes with this, which is your glider, which you can have as just a kind of like, kind of hooking onto the back. I'll just move his things because they distract me. Right, so it clips around his waist here. The figure's got kind of a lunging forward pose, so it's a bit hard for him to stand up into. There we go. Which I think is kind of because this backpack's so heavy, they sort of made the figure, the standing pose of the figure kind of move in a particular way. So yeah, you can have it as that, which is just your traditional glider. It's got these kind of cool, kind of metallic, robotic kind of claw things on the bottom. But then it's also got a secondary use in that you can take the claws off and flip them around the other way, because this is what the artwork shows you can do. And there's kind of handle there and a handle there, so you can clip it onto the front of his waist. Kind of, it takes a bit of manoeuvring, but you can get his hand on there and his hand on that side. And then he kind of uses it as kind of like a kind of shield. And kind of, you can see the bat shield through there, and he can use it as kind of like a shield to kind of protect himself from, I mean, missiles or whatever. So this is a really versatile figure. I quite like this one, even though not everything about it quite works quite well. The goggles don't quite line up, the cape doesn't quite fit on. But I really like the thought process behind it. I really like that this glider works in two directions. You can have it as kind of just your traditional kind of like whoosh, flying glider. But you can also have it as kind of shield. Yeah, I really like the goggles, as I say. I think it's just such a fun kind of idea. It doesn't always work. And the plastic cape's kind of cool. It would have been nice to just have a cloth cape, but I can understand, obviously, with the proximity of the goggles, they had to go with the plastic cape, and it had to kind of stick in that way. I just wish that it kind of clipped in a little bit more, so it was a bit more of a stable figure. Although it's not too bad, actually, now that I'm fiddling with it now. Yeah, so that is the Night Hunter Batman. I would recommend this, actually. I think it's kind of fun. This thing tends to get scratched. If you buy it loose, this thing tends to get scratched, so try and buy it new if you can, but otherwise just make sure you get all the bits. So the glider, the cape, and the goggles. Yeah, it's a fun figure. It's not near the top, but it's definitely somewhere up there in terms of my own personal ranking of the Kenner figures. So yeah, I would say definitely get it.